Alright, what up, y'all? Welcome to the first live stream of 2026, coming in as a Gran Turismo live stream. As of right now, it's actually been 3 whole weeks since I last streamed Gran Turismo. I just looked it up on my channel on YouTube Studio, and I saw that, yeah, it's been 3 weeks since I streamed this game, which, honestly, I didn't think it was that long. Like, I thought it was at least 2 weeks. But no, apparently I haven't streamed this for a whole 3 weeks. But I mean, the only reason I did it, well, one of the reasons was because at the end of last stream, well, actually, the week or should I say, the week after my last Gran Turismo stream, I was about to start streaming, but then obviously that's when I made that post on my YouTube channel about how like the game still isn't working properly or anything like that. But I've discovered that there was an easy workaround to it, and like the main issue I was having was when I was downshifting in the Genesis, like in the Group 4 Genesis, I was trying to downshift too fast because I'm too used to how it was before. But apparently it's not a bug or whatever. Apparently it's like a purposeful feature they added to the game. I think from what I looked it up, I think it's called downshift lockup or something like that. Like to where you can't downshift as fast like when you're like under braking, like in certain cars. Like I was just running laps of the daily race that I'm gonna be doing in the Group 3 Supra, and it doesn't really feel much different compared to how it was before, but it seems that it only affects like most of the GT4 cars and stuff from what I've seen. But anyway, main purpose of this stream is to work on restoring my rating. If y'all remember from 3 weeks ago when we were at Yas Marina and Gillies, my driver rating obviously dropped to a B, and my safety rating at that time was actually at C. But however, last week, or actually I think it was last week, yeah, it was either last week or 2 weeks ago. No, I think it was last week. Well, I actually ran some of last week's daily race C's off camera. Like I said, it was either a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Whichever one was at the Red Bull ring, that the daily race C Group 4 cars at the Red Bull ring. It's whatever that race was. I ran some races on there off camera, and I managed to get my safety rating back to a maximum S, and I'm over halfway through to my B driver rating. Now I'm not necessarily setting the goal to try to get back to A by the end of this stream, but if it does happen, then great. And then we'll see how far back up we can progress my A rating back up to. Like before, like I was averaging like a low to mid A, or a mid to high, or not mid to high, like mid to low A rating. That's what I was averaging at before. So if I can get myself back to there, that'll be fantastic. But let's go ahead and jump in. Let's see. Okay, so I think I might have just missed the entry period for this one. So we're gonna have to wait a hot minute, but that's okay. I've already ran like tons of laps around here before I started, and I've already set a pretty decent time. Probably the fastest time I'm gonna set. Maybe I'll improve by a tenth or so, but I don't think I'm gonna improve that much any further than what I got now. I got a 1:57.7, and as it stands right now, that puts me within 2.5 seconds of the fastest time in the world. Normally I try to aim for at least 2 seconds, but if I can get at least like 2.5 or something like that, that works for me too. So I guess we'll run some more laps while we wait. I guess we gotta wait 8 minutes now, and then we gotta wait a whole another 15 minutes after that. So who knows? Maybe I can go a little faster in that time. So yeah, we're at a track that hasn't been featured in daily races for a while. This is Tokyo Expressway South, counterclockwise, I believe it is. And I should know this track fairly well because a long time ago, I used to like test and tune like a bunch of cars, like road cars, and build them up as like street cars or whatever, just to have fun in some multiplayer lobbies. And I would tune them up to be good around this track specifically. Now, I wasn't very good at tuning back then. Like, literally, all I would do was just like throw on the engine upgrades and like just do some other small things. I would never do like the hardcore like actual proper tuning on the cars because I'm not very good at that. But I managed to build a collection of like street cars that I used on this track for street racing lobbies. So I've ran quite a few laps around here, but I think I did it on controller more than I did on the wheel. And this was obviously a long time ago, long before I had this rig that I'm currently sitting in. But this is bad. Shit, I think this is even before I had this whole setup here entirely. Like back at that time, I didn't even have my desk setup that I have now over here. Like I had a giant wooden entertainment center, and I would sit on like a reclining chair or whatever with my big ass TV. Like that was my old setup. And of course I had the rig that I used to have before I got this one. But anyway, yeah, that was one thing I did on this track quite a bit, so I know this track fairly well. So I was able to get myself up to speed with this track rather quickly. And yeah, like I said, that 57.7 is the fastest I've done so far, and probably the fastest I'm going to do, unless I end up going like a tenth or two faster, which I probably can. It's just a matter of scraping that out. Obviously, that lap wasn't very good because I was talking half the time. Talking and driving at the same time is not really my specialty. I see we can actually run a proper lap now. Nope, I just realized I'm on the wrong tire. God damn it, I knew it was... Okay, hold up. Yeah, I knew I was going to forget. That's why I wasn't running as good. I was on the wrong tire. I accidentally locked on the hard tire when I should have locked on the mediums, and I just switched to the medium tire in this screen here, but I didn't actually lock them on. So let me go and just lock those medium tires on really quick so I don't keep forgetting that. But I'll say, no wonder the car didn't feel as good as it should have when I did this just not too long ago. Okay, there we go. So yeah, the plan is we're just gonna run this race, this daily race C, for a few hours until 10 o'clock my time. So about 3 hours or so. So we're just gonna run nothing but this race for the next few hours, and we're just gonna see how we do and try to get that rating back up. Like I said, the goal is to get back to A in this stream, but like I said, if we do, then cool. But that's not the goal. The goal is just to work on getting it up some more from where it is now. But yeah, honestly, I kind of wish I recorded some of the races that I did on the Rebel Ring, because I actually had some fairly decent races, but actually most of them were just me starting at the front and just running away with it because obviously my rating doesn't match up with my skill right now. Although there were a couple races where there were some guys starting in front of me that were a little bit quicker than me, but I still managed to have a good race with them. So yeah, honestly, like, as much as I hate being a lower rating than I am now, like, me being a lower rating actually helps me provide some better racing at the front for me, honestly. But I still do want to get back into the lobbies that I were in before, where I would still like mid-pack, like, roughly, and like try to do as well as I can. Because even before that, there were some races where I would get lucky and like I would probably get like a podium or maybe even second. A win is very rare in more of those high skill lobbies that I was normally in before the drastic downfall of my rating. But yeah, it's nice to have some fun races at the front for once, since I don't normally get that. And with my safety rating being S now rather than C, which is what it was before, and with me being a higher B rating, I should at least end up in lobbies with all B drivers, and there might be maybe 2 or 3 people starting in front of me, depending, but we'll just have to wait and see. Alright, I think by the time we finish this lap, it'll have been long enough to get into the matchmaking period. Then we just gotta wait the 15 minutes for that. Probably could have jumped in sooner if I wasn't rambling, but oh well. And actually, you know what? Before I do that, I think I'm actually gonna move my camera down just a tad. Let me just give it a nice little tap, 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 baroo. There we go. That adds a little better. I'd say. It's off roughly back where it was on my seat. Okay. Put you back there. All right. All right. Let's see. I think it's been long enough. Yeah. Worst case scenario, we just gotta wait like another minute or so, maybe. No. Yeah, another minute. Okay. Yeah. We'll just sit here for the next minute, and then we'll jump in there and just wait for the race to start, or at least wait to the matchmaking to start up. Got a cup of got my cup of coffee here from dinner. Okay, there we go. Entry period is open. And now we wait. So let's go ahead and run some more laps and let's see if I can improve my time by maybe a tenth or two. I feel like there's definitely a little bit more time that I can gain. I just gotta find it. But if anything, I'm very much happy with that lap time, even if I don't improve. A little too early on the power. Actually, hang on, let me scoot myself up just a notch. There we go. Understeered very hard into that last corner. Gotta be careful not to go too far inside of those curb lines there, because that will easily be a penalty if you do. Now, I was about to call them curves, but technically they're not curves because they're just like flat lines. So, but they resemble curves. They're just not actual curves. Okay, there you go. That's a little bit closer to my current PB. This is going to be a new record here. Oh, 57.3. All right. There we go, baby. Well, that definitely puts me within 2 seconds of the fastest time now. See, I knew there was a little bit more time in there. Oop, oop. Careful. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When I was coming out of that last corner on the previous lap, like I was totally expecting to hit the wall because I thought I exited with a bit too much speed, and I was ready to be like, fuck. But nope, I managed to miss it, and hell yeah, we got a faster time. I'm very. If I was happy with the 57.7 before, I am very, very happy with the 57.3. Honestly, I'm probably definitely not going to go any faster than that. That's probably my limit right there. Unless I pull a miracle lap. Well, that's definitely not it, son of a bitch. Wait, I got damage? How the heck did I get damage? I didn't even touch the wall. Okay, that's weird. Oh well, it's just qualifying, and I've already got the last time I wanted to. I don't really care. At this point, we're just waiting out the last 5.5 minutes before the matchmaking starts, and we'll see where we end up starting. Because at this point, I have no idea where I'm going to start. I'm probably not going to start on pole like very easily, like I was before when my safety rating was C and my B rating was lower. There's definitely going to be some people starting in front of me. It's just a matter of how many and what the time gap is between me and those people. So I will say there is a high chance of us winning some races, but I mean it's still not going to be easy. I know that for a fact. So I'm still probably going to just treat this as if I'm in a higher level lobby like I normally am. Like I said, we'll just see how many people are in front of us, and we'll see what the lap time gap is between me and those people. Alright, well, this will be my last full lap of practice for our first race. Anyway, I did the right thing there. I just went in a little too slow. Alright, and that'll be our last lap of practice before race number 1. Just go ahead and cruise out these last 20 seconds here. Alright, let's see where we start here. Alright, looks like we are starting on pole. Okay. Alright, so the main strategy for this race is we have to use the medium and the soft tire, but the main strategy is to only use the soft tire for 1 lap and then do the remaining laps on mediums. And since I'm starting at the front, it would be foolish for me to start on the hard tire, so I'm going to run. And the pit lane on this track is halfway around the lap rather than right at the end of the lap. So I can wait until the very last lap to change over to the hard tires. So since I'm starting it on the pole for this first race, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do basically the first 10.5 laps on the mediums, and then on the last lap we're gonna pit, change to the hards, and then just run them for the last half of the final lap. And that is basically the strategy for this. So I guess, of course, they call it a strategy, but it's not really much of a strategy, honestly. But anyway, let's see how we do. We're starting on pole, and the time gap is quite substantial. So we'll see how we do. We'll see if we'll just run away with it in this one, or if we end up being challenged from behind. We'll see what happens. Honestly, I don't expect to run away with it, but if we do, then hey ho, easy win for me and easy rating points for me. My safety rating's already at maximum S, so that's not going to change. The only thing that should go up now is my driver rating. Alright, and away we go. Kind of hoping this guy doesn't try to go for a move right away. Oh, he is. Oh, that's a punt. That's a punt. You know what? Yeah, I'm not really worried about winning this race, so I don't mind getting passed right away. I mean, if I get the run, I can easily just pass this guy back in the tunnel here. Or I could just bump him along. Oh, you hit the wall a little bit. Alright, let's see if I can break the slipstream and get away from this guy. Alright, gas up to 1.5, 1.1. So we're out of the slip range now. Okay. Now it's just put down the laps and just run away with it. Not gonna lie, I thought I was gonna get a penalty there because I cut those curves because I cut those lines too much, but we got away with it. See, it gets up to almost 3 seconds now. 2.6, 2.5. I'm not worried about the gap going up like super high. As long as it stays where it is now, then I'm fine with it. Broke traction on the front wheels for a moment there. I felt it in the wheel. Yeah, so it's almost 4 seconds now. Ooh, gotta be a little careful there. Pushing a little unnecessarily hard right now for as big of a gap as I have right now. Now I shouldn't be driving as hard as I am right now, but I mean, there's some people that say, like, you know, that, like, if you don't, like, just let me drive fast. Like, driving fast is all I know how to do. That's what some people say anyway. I mean, either way, it doesn't matter. I mean, we still got a 3-second gap. We still got almost a 4-second gap right now. Well, we had one. But like I said, as long as it stays where it is now, then it doesn't matter. I can get away with making a few minor mistakes here and there. Alright. Halfway there. Yeah, at this point, as long as nothing major happens, then we'll definitely have this one in the bag. Oop. Sorry, little wall tap, but no damage. We're fine. Depth just went over 6 seconds now. Yeah, honestly, I was not expecting to be in races like this where I just end up on the pole and just run away with it. But then again, I guess it does all depend on who's playing as well, I suppose. But I was not expecting this. I was expecting to at least have some sort of competition up here. But this is only the first race. And I'd say it's still somewhat early in the evening, but I don't know. It's only the first race, so we'll see what we get in the next coming races. But at least we get a nice easy one for the first one here. Alright, we'll be pitting in 2.5 laps. It looks like a 158.0 is the best I'm going to do in this race. But still, nobody else behind is beating that lap yet. Wait, somebody's choosing to pit now. Little early, buddy. If you pit any earlier than the last lap, then you're just hurting yourself more, being on the slower tire. Alright, so not this time, but next time around, we will be in the pit lane. The very weird pit lane on this track, which is basically just a freaking parking garage. That's all this. It's not really much of a pit lane at all. It's more like a pit garage on this track. Oops, second place is pitting a lap early. Perhaps maybe he thinks that because it's second to last lap, you have to pit now, but little does he know, you can pit on the last lap since the pits are halfway around the lap. And he's just giving himself an extra lap on the hard tire. Alright, now I haven't attempted entering this pit lane like as a practice yet. So try to take it a little easy going in. I have the gap to spare, but I have to go a little bit slower than usual through here, just to make sure I don't get a 3-second penalty. I think even if I do, it won't matter because I'm so far ahead, but I still don't want to get it. Stay within the line. I went over the line. Oh well, like I said, it doesn't matter. I'm so far ahead that I feel like even if I get a 3-second penalty, it's not going to matter. Let's see, did we get hit with the penalty? Oh, no, we didn't. All right, we're good. Alright, first race of the evening, and we're going to get a very easy win. Alright. Yep, like I said, I was not expecting to be in a race like this where I just run away with it, considering how high my safety rating is, but hey, hell, I'll take it. So yeah, how much did we win by? Second place is still running. There he goes. 20 seconds. Jesus, we won by over 20 seconds. God damn. What the heck happened back there? Someone must have got a penalty or something coming out of the pits. Jesus. Jeez, I don't think I've ever won a race by that much ever in my entire time playing this game. Damn. Well, enjoy while it lasts, because once our rating gets back to A and I end up back in those higher rated lobbies, I'm not really going to be getting this luxury anymore. So I better enjoy it while it lasts. And yep, somebody forgot to pit because they got a 1-minute penalty. He's going to be getting dead last, no doubt. Look at that. Pole position, fastest lap, and clean race. Something that I hardly ever get. Okay, so I guess my safety rating wasn't quite maximum, but it basically was maximum. Alright. Alright, let's see. How long we gotta wait for the next one? Only 4 minutes. Good. Don't have to wait very long in between races in this one, thankfully. This is something that I wish they did in the Spec 3 update, to where, like, they don't make you wait as long before the next race. Like, if anything, like, instead of 15 minutes, like, they should have maybe made, like, a 10-minute period at the very minimum. So that way we're not just, like, driving around for God knows how freaking long and have to wait so damn long. Because some of us just want to get in there and race and not have to freaking wait. Alright, so as long as we're starting at the front or towards the front in all these races, then I'll keep sticking with that same strategy throughout all these races. Start on the medium and then change to the hard tire on the last half of the final lap. That's honestly the best way to go. Because you don't want to start on the hard tire and then get swallowed up by people in the mediums, and then you have to deal with slower people behind or around you. That would just be a very dumb idea. If you're starting at the front, definitely want to start on mediums and end on the soft or the hards. There's just no other way of doing it. All right. Let's see where we're starting this one. Okay, we're starting right on pole again. But we got somebody a little bit quicker starting behind me, so this one may not be as easy as the previous one. We might actually have a little bit more of a challenge on our hands this time. Because now the guy starting behind me his lap time is only just over a tenth, is only just under over a tenth slower. Well, actually, technically almost a couple tenths slower, but it's definitely closer than the guy that was starting behind me before. So, yeah, we're definitely not going to run away with this one. But we still have a shot at winning, at least. So, yeah, definitely doing the same strategy. Start on the mediums, end on the hards, and we'll just see what happens. Alrighty. Well, even if I don't win this race, I won't mind it because I got my free win already with that very easy race before. So if I don't win this one, I don't care. As long as we have a good clean run. And let go. We're not going to get challenged into the first corner this time, like last race. First proper corner, I guess you could say. I did definitely brake a little too early there, but oh well, we're fine. So now I imagine it's going to be just the top two that runs away with it this time, because like I said, with this guy being a bit closer to my lap time than the previous guy, we're definitely not going to run away with this one as easily, I presume. So we'll see how much of a fight this guy gives me here. Looks like somebody's starting on the hards and ending on the mediums. Alright, now let's not break too early into this next corner here like a dingus. Oh, damn, he must have made a major mistake back there. this should definitely be my fastest lap of the race so far. Yep. Not quite as fast as my lap in the previous race, but it's basically right on it. Definitely could have done that first corner a little better. Went in there a little too hot. Yeah, we got a healthy gap right now, but not going up as much as it was last time. This time it's staying around that 4.5 second mark. I feel like Robot might be in a fight with the guy behind him. Maybe they're losing time from that. Ooh, big mistake there, buddy. You just doomed yourself right there, Haas. You just pitted way too early. Ooh, thankfully I got out of there. Otherwise, I would have went barreling into the wall there. Alright, one more full lap, and then it's pit time. Okay. All right, another convincing win. But we're not going to finish as far ahead as we did last time. But a win is a win, and I'll take it. Hey, bud, how's restoring your driver rating coming? It's going good so far. Considering my safety rating at one point was a C, like I managed to get that back up to S off camera, and we're a little over. I'd say we're about 3/4 of the way through the B rating now. So I'm not trying to get back to A by the end of the stream, but if I do, then that's great. But I'm not expecting to reach A again before the end of the stream. My goal is just to work on getting it up some more. Someone hit intentionally? No, actually, I was one of the victims of the debut of the Yas Marina and the Gillies races, where like they were so brutal that my rating just skyrocketed down because of so much crap that happened in the Super Formula race. Like I tell you what, I mean, I know Polyphony, they decided to use the Super Formula cars on that track because it's a F1 track. I get it, but if you're gonna do a race like that, you at least gotta turn the driver rating and safety rating updates off, because for a race like that, and with the major skill gaps of the people with those cars, like that's just ridiculous. Turning those rating updates on for that race, they should have had them off. Like, that was a huge mistake. But it's all right. We can rebound. As long as I keep up what I'm doing now, then we should be back to A in no time. Just gotta keep getting them clean runs. Yeah, I did quite a few of the races on Daily Race C at the Red Bull Ring. It was either last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever week it was that race came up. Yeah, I did quite a few of those off camera, and that's where I got my safety rating from a C back up to an S, where it's supposed to be. You have an account for each rating. You suggest I do the same? I mean, I suppose some people do that, but I mean, I'm not one of those people that need to do that, I feel. But everybody has their own way of doing things, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for me, I say that's just not necessary. But hey, you know, whatever works for you. That's what I say. You do you. A plus A and B? Huh, okay. B's for warming up and practicing the field? Yeah, that's understandable. And I guess for you, A is for more of a challenge, and for a bit more of a challenge than A plus is for like the real challenge. Helps you a lot. Well, that's good. You know, it's like I said, whatever works for you, man. You do you. Everybody, like I said, everybody has their own way of doing things. As long as it works out for you, then you keep on doing it. It was a mistake. It was supposed to say B. Ow. That's alright. Otherwise, you wish me the best of luck? Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. As long as we keep up these good races, then, like I said, we should be back up to an A rating where I'm supposed to be in no time. Something like, hell yeah, brother. Appreciate it. See you on the track, bud. Hell yeah. Yeah, see you on the track. All right. Okay, starting on pole again. Looks like the guys behind me. Looks like the next few guys behind me are a little bit different this time. Okay, so we got about a 3.5, little over a 3.5 tenth gap between me and the next car down. So I don't know. I mean, the guy that was started behind me last race was under 2 tenths behind me, and I still managed to break away from him and run away. Well, somewhat. I mean, the gap stayed around like 4.5 seconds most of the time, but I mean, for the first few laps, he was keeping up with me fairly well. But I guess he just kept making mistakes and he fell off. But the gap's a little bit closer this time, so just like last time, I will expect to not run away with it this time. But if we do, then so be it. Just keep doing the same thing we did in the previous 2 races. All right, here we go. Let's see how well this guy keeps up. We'll see how well this guy keeps up with me this time. Looks like even he's already getting challenged. Oh, whoop, whoop, whoop. Oof. That's the first time that's happened. Threw her in. Actually snapped down on me that time. Alright, gaps already up to 2 seconds. They must really be battling hard back there. Alright, 1 lap down, and the gap is already at almost 1.9. $50 cal, my man. What's going on, brother? Happy New Year to you too, my friend. Oh, I wasn't even paying attention. All of a sudden, freaking 9 cents went away just like that. He's still in slip range, but he's definitely a little bit closer than he was before. I'm not gonna lie, I thought I was gonna get penalized again. I wonder if you even can get a penalty for cutting those apexes. Perhaps maybe I'll test that in the next qualifying time trial lobby. Because I cut that second curb line as far as I possibly could, and I still didn't get penalized. So I wonder if you even can get penalized for that. Well, we'll find out. But for now, I'm not going to test it mid-race, obviously. So we'll look into that in the next qualifying time trial lobby. Okay, so I'm noticing this guy behind is gaining a little bit of time on me in the braking zone going into the hairpin. So perhaps that means I'm braking a little too early into that hairpin. Perhaps I'll try braking a little bit later next time around. Because both this lap and the previous lap, he gained time on me coming up to the hairpin in the braking zone. And I just ran a lap that's 6,000 slower than his. So it looks like we got a bit more of a challenge on my hands this time. But as long as we can keep the gap where it is, then we should be fine. But definitely can't let this one be as laid back as the previous still. Gotta keep my pace up somewhat in this one. Can't afford any mistakes in this one. What's my ride? I'm driving the GT3 Supra right now, which is the go-to car for this daily race C this week. I guess at 1.7 now. Just getting a little time on him again. Alright, we'll try to brake a little bit later into the hairpin this time to avoid getting caught up in the braking zone again. Alright, there we go. You didn't gain as much time on me that time. Ooh, there we go. I just had a 57. That's my first 57 of the race. Bonk. It's alright, no damage. Bonk again. There we go. We're starting to steadily increase the gap now. Damn, that gap really came down now. I'm wondering if he's managing his tires better than I am. Because it was like almost 1.7, I think, at the start of that previous lap. Now all of a sudden he's almost within a second of me. Well, whatever it is, we gotta figure it out if we don't want to get challenged for the lead. Yeah, he's in the slip range now. Looks like we're gonna have a fight on our hands in these last few laps, unless he makes a mistake. Yep, I can see his headlights in my view in front of me now. That's how close he is to me now. Looks like he wants to go for it, so I'm going to defend. Oh, he's going to pit now. Ooh. That could be a mistake. I don't know. I mean, yes, I'm on warm mediums, but you know what? I'm sticking with my strategy, and we'll see how it plays out. I mean, I've already won 2 races in a row now, so even if it doesn't work out for me, then fair play to him for pitting early and getting on the hards early. But I'm sticking with my strategy, and I'll stick to my warm mediums for another lap and a half. If I end up in front of him, then I'll have a lap and a half fresher, or about 2 laps fresher hard tires than him. So therefore, I should be able to hold him behind in the last few corners. But like I said, if it doesn't work out and he ends up winning, then fair play. I've already won 2 races in a row now, so I don't care. I don't really care if I win or lose this one. Okay, so now he's back in second. Let's see if he's actually gaining time on me here with his fresh hards compared to my warm mediums. See 15.7 was the gap at the line, so we'll see if that goes down. Yeah, I knew I was going to go down there because I made a mistake in that corner, but... I mean, it's going down, but not that fast. It's not going down drastically. Well, we're about to find out what happens here because I'm pitting now. So, we'll see if I end up out in front of him. Alright, this is it. If I end up out in front, I'll have fresher tires than him. There he is. Oh, you bastard. At least he didn't take advantage of that. Whew! Yes! Let's go. Yeah, I'm glad he did the right thing and didn't take advantage of hitting me into that corner there. So good sportsmanship from him. All right, whew, that's definitely the closest finish we had so far, but we got another win. 3 in a row. Let's go. Let's see, it's almost 9 my time, so we'll probably run 2 more races, and then we'll call it for this stream. Well, we didn't get the fastest lap that time, but we still got what makes this the best camera view to drive in. Well, I mean, for one, like, you get the rear view mirror at the top, and no other camera view gives you that. And also, you can have the radar in the middle. But, I mean, I've always, like, switched between, like, the bumper cam and the hood cam for a while. But now, at this point now, I'm just accommodated so much to the bumper cam. Like, that's just the camera that I just want to use always. And, yeah, like, you don't have as much visibility compared to the hood view. It's a little bit lower view, but it works for me, so... And I wouldn't say this is the best camera view to use, you know. You drive cockpit? Huh. Yeah, I actually tried driving cockpit at one point, but I'm just unfortunately not as quick in that view. I mean, really, there is no best view to use in this game. It's just you use whatever you're more comfortable with. But yeah, I tried cockpit view. It just didn't work. I was nowhere near as quick as I was in like hood view or bumper cam. Do much VR these days? I mean, at this point, it's been a while since I've done VR. Like, I thought about maybe doing some VR on stream in some point in the future, but I don't know when. I mean, shit, I thought about doing it recently off camera as well, but I just never got around to it. Oh yeah, you know what? Hold on, let me restart the lap. I was gonna test to see if you actually get penalized for cutting the curbs there in that loop section. So I want to see that. So let's go back there and let's test and see if you can actually get penalized for cutting that. Okay, so let's see. It's not this one I'm concerned about. It's not this one. It's this one coming up. Let's see. So let's drive it like that, and let's see if it gives me a penalty. Okay, so you can get penalized for cutting that. That's what I figured. At this point, I've already gotten as close as I could on that second apex, so it doesn't seem like you can get penalized on that one, but on that first one, you definitely can. If you put all four wheels beyond the white line. So as long as you keep all four wheels within or at least two tires within the white line, then you're fine. Oh, whoops. Got just a little too close to the wall. I'm guessing that last part of that message says you don't use it. All right, let's see who we got in this lobby. Oh, okay. So, all right. So now we got a couple of people starting in front of us. Maybe you should not that. I'm back in driver rating B lobbies. Yeah. I was an A driver, but unfortunately, the catastrophe of the debut of the two new tracks in those daily races kind of ruined my rating a bit. I mean, shit, my safety rating went down as low as a C before, but I managed to get it back up to an S. And yeah, look at that. We got some people actually starting in front of us now. So that's a good sign that we're getting in some lobbies, some little bit faster lobbies here. Oh look, the ADs. That guy was in my chat earlier. I don't know if he's still here now, but if you are, what's up, dude? And he looks like he's driving the Audi, so we'll see how we do against him. Best you saw on the stream earlier was a 55.9. Yeah. 155 is a 155.3 is the current fastest time in the world. Last I checked the leaderboard earlier. So whoever stream you were watching, I guess they're a very fast driver. All right, so this time we're starting third, so we'll see how we do. Ooh, went a little deep. Oh no, ooh, thankfully I didn't hit anybody. Ooh, crap. Ooh, went a little too deep that time. Ooh, that's the first time I made that mistake. But thankfully I didn't hit anybody from my slide. Alright, looks like we got some guys doing the hard tire strategy first. Alright, let's see if we can catch back up to the top two here. What's up, Jacob? How you doing, man? I'm having a coffee and your mama's washing clothes and such. Huh, that's nice. I got a cup of coffee sitting next to me right now from dinner. That's just about gone. Probably maybe a couple sips left, but oh boy. Whew, well, thankfully we didn't lose too much time from that. the fact that that was such a slow speed hairpin, I kind of got away with that mistake without losing too much time. Let's see, he ran a 58.2. My fastest lap in the race so far was a 57.7, and I believe I ran that in the previous race. What race am I doing? This is Daily Race C. And this is around the track that's called Tokyo Expressway South Counterclockwise. And it's in Group 3 cars, aka GT3 cars. Alright, now let's not outbreak myself in the hairpin like a fool this time. You don't know what any of that means? Well, if only you played Gran Turismo, you'd know what it means. I mean, shit, you said you thought about getting it at one point. You did, but you don't know the game. Well, I mean, yeah, that's fair. I mean, I didn't know much about this game when I first started playing it. The first one of this I played was GT Sport, was Gran Turismo Sport. I never played any of like the OG Gran Turismos, like hardcore. Like I played a little bit of 6, like just split screening with my brother. But other than that, why the hell is this guy slowing down the fuck? Okay. Okay. I don't know why he did that, but all right. And I was actually in the wrong gear for that corner. Oh, there we go. I set the fastest lap the very next lap. Well, but then again, Deez is driving a non-meta car, so I mean, maybe if he was driving the Supra like I am, he'd probably be a little bit quicker than me right now, considering he started in front of me with a faster time. It's probably because he's using the anti-meta car. That's why he's not running away from me right now. And this thing has way more straight line speed compared to any Group 3 car. Alright, yep. See you later, buddy. Have a good one. Alright, yeah. Sure thing, brother. managing to stay in front of me fairly well, but I'm still in the slip range though. Looks like the Audi definitely accelerates a little bit better out of the hairpin. Work with him right now. Stay ahead of the guys behind. Oh, I just realized that last lap was even faster. Ooh, I actually thought for sure he was going to go barreling into the wall there. Alright, I think the next opportunity I get to go for the move, I'm going to go for it because I don't want to wait too late to go for the move and then my opportunity goes away. So I think next opportunity I get to make the overtake, I'm going to go for it. So let's see if I can get a run into the hairpin here. Is he good to defend? Yep, okay, he's defending again. No, looks like he's in full defense mode now. Pretty sure you need to defend to the hairpin every time now. Whoa, holy moly. Oh, shit. Oh. Ah, damn. Well, thankfully the car didn't go all the way around, but we definitely lost a lot of time. And we still got a few left to catch them, so let's just try to focus up here. I should gain some time on him on the straightaways because with my superior top speed. Alright, I got a lap and a half to catch him at this point. Oh, we hit the wall. Well, that's gonna bring me right back in. Need to try to get alongside him before the hairpin, so we can't defend. Ah, I got nowhere to go. Yeah, he's gonna just defend into the hairpin again, and he's gonna cover it off well. Whew, there we go. Managed to sneak by. Surely he's not going to try to pass me here. We both have to pit still. All right, this is it. 3 corners left, or I guess 4. 4 corners left to decide the winner of this race. Here we go. Oh shit, no, never mind, it's not going to be for the win. This guy snuck by. Oh shit, well, I guess neither of us are winning this race, so I guess this is for second now. Yeah, I completely forgot about that guy. No, well, in the end, I guess neither of us won. Oh well, it was still a good race between us regardless. Well, fair play to that guy. Woo! I mean, I'll still take second after that bold ass move into the hairpin. Whew. Like I noticed, like the last couple of times he defended, but he didn't fully cover it off. So I figured, maybe I can sneak into that one little space that's there, and I just about managed to get it stopped without running him too wide. Whew, that was a very good move for me, I have to say. If only that was good enough for the win. But yeah, I completely forgot about the other guy who pitted before all of us. And yeah, he actually started on the hards and ended on the mediums, so he was on the faster tire in the end. But hey, I'll take credit for the fastest lap though. All right. I've seen a few strategies today. Good race. Thank you. All right. So we shall probably go ahead and make this. We'll probably make this the last run here. And as long as our rating keeps going up, which it has every time so far, then we'll be getting closer and closer to those higher rated lobbies. And considering I had a couple people starting in front of me there, like I don't know if that's just because it's starting to get later in the evening and more people are getting on, or if I'm actually getting into the higher rated lobbies now. Whatever it is, as long as I get more people starting in front of me, then that'll be a good sign that my rating's getting back up. Yeah, I didn't brake late enough to the hairpin. Damn, if only I was able to hold that. That could have been a 56. Ah. Damn, I didn't brake late enough into the hairpin. Man, well, we were on for a 56 there. Oh well. It's the last race of the stream anyway, so. Alright, last race of the evening. Where are you putting me? Okay, starting third again. Same pole sitter as before, but ADs isn't here this time. That was a hot lap. Yeah, it was until I braked too early into the hairpin. Oh man, if only I was able to hold that, man. That definitely would have been a 56 for sure. But that's okay. I mean, I was already happy with the 57.3 I had to begin with. Anything more than that would have been a miracle. Yeah, I imagine, yeah, we're definitely not hitting A before the end of the stream. Considering this is the last race, there's no way. But as long as we've definitely increased our rating in every race we've done so far. And as long as this race goes as well as the previous ones I've done, then this one will be no different. Is that a Ford GT behind me? Oh, it is. It's 15 max? No, it's actually 16 max, but sometimes the lobby doesn't get the max number of people. But the player cap in these lobbies is 16 players. Kind of wish it was more than that, but oh well. We get what we get. Alright, if this 4GT behind me is smart, he won't try to overtake me in this corner here. Okay, you didn't. Oop, that guy made a mistake. That's the same mistake I made on the first lap last race. Alright, so now we're up behind this guy who won the last race, but I don't know if he's planning to do the same strategy he did in the last race, but I guess we'll find out. Okay, looks like he is. Alright. Looks like quite a few people are, actually. Alright, so now it's just a matter if I can keep my pace up enough to keep him to possibly get by him before I pit. Just gotta try not to fight too much. That's the mistake I made in the last race. I was fighting too much with D's, and that's what caused him to get away like he did in the end. So let's try to get away from the guys behind and get some clear air and run some good laps, and we'll see if we can possibly overtake him like by the time I pit. Alright, gap's over a second now, so we've gotten out of the slip range. Yeah, 58.5 that lap was. I know I can definitely run faster than that. Yeah, what? Breaking too early for the hairpin before. Now I'm breaking too late. But something that's definitely happened behind, because the gap behind is almost 4 seconds now. No, I took the fastest lap, but then he said a faster lap right behind me. That's faster than my fastest lap of the race so far. My fastest lap is only a 57.6, which I got in the previous race. I haven't went any faster than that. Oh, we got a very comfortable gap behind now. So now it's just a matter of trying to put some good laps down and to hopefully be within some sort of touching distance to the other guy by the time I pit. At this point, my hope is that the guys hold up the pole sitter, and that would increase my chances of gaining the lead after I make my pit stop. That's probably another thing that I should be hoping for now, that it gets slowed up by the guys behind. Because I feel like my pace isn't quite good enough. I don't think it's going to be enough, but let's fucking pray. Nah, it wasn't enough. Damn it. Yeah, I knew it. I probably needed a little bit more than 14, probably maybe at least 15 or 16, but yeah, I knew it wasn't going to be enough, because I was watching on the map. I saw that he was getting closer to the Brazilian who was in second, and by the time I got to the point where I was pitting, he was right on his ass, and even the Brazilian himself was only like just under 14 seconds behind, so I already knew it wasn't going to be enough, but I tried my damnedest. But solid effort though. Still a good finish? Oh yeah, for sure. And it's still a solid effort. Oh boy. Entertained? Well, I'm glad you're entertained, 50 cal. I'm glad you're entertained. And we got another clean race bonus, so that's good. Maybe try early pit. Well, that would just, that wouldn't work, because then I would be on the slower tire longer. Or if you mean like start on the hards and then go to the mediums, I mean maybe, but I mean I'm not doing it. That was my last race. I'm not doing it anymore. So. All right, so we did what, 5 races there, and all of which we gained rating gains. Let's see how close we are to A. Okay, that's we definitely made significant progress. I say probably either by next stream or the stream after that, we'll probably get back to an A. Hey, look at the amount of races I played. 1,111 races. 1111. No, never get to see that again after my next start. But yes, sir. Another Gran Turismo stream done. I should be getting back to my weekly ordeal now that I've come to terms with this game after the new feature they added. So, yep, I should be getting back to doing this weekly, probably on Tuesdays like this, roughly around the same time, maybe an hour sooner or later, depending, but it'll be on this day for sure. All right, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off there. So, I thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I shall catch y'all in the next one. See y'all later.